All right. So Dean was talking a bit earlier there about a movie he went to see. I'm going to talk about a movie that I haven't seen. It's this Tom Cruise movie, Valkyrie. You know the one about the Nazis that tried to assassinate Hitler? So I haven't seen it, as I said, but I wonder, who am I supposed to root for in this film? Is it the bad Nazis or the not quite so bad Nazis? It's like, we're gonna wipe out AIDS, yay! With syphilis, yeah. So I am Scottish, and my wife is Jewish. And people ask me, they say, what do you have in common, Scottish guy, Jewish woman? The answer is quite a lot. For instance, we share a common Scottish people, Jewish people, we love to use the sound in our words. Yeah. Like the night we met, for example, I told her about Scotland's dreich climate, our many beautiful lochs. She told me about Hanukkah and her mishbucha. And then we went back to her place and we fucked. My wife's in the audience tonight, and thank you. My wife's in the audience. She hates it when I tell that joke. I don't want people to think we had sex on our first date. So. And that's what she sounds like too. But for the record, we did not have sex on our first date. Scots and Jews also share a common stereotype. We're tight, we don't like to splash the cash. And in each case, there's an historical reason for this. In old Europe, for example, many professions were closed to Jews. Money lending was one of the few things they could do, hence the association with being tight with cash. In the case of Scottish people, the stereotype stuck because historically, we don't like spending money or being generous in any way. No, I'm serious. You ever get invited to dinner at a Scottish person's house? Bring a sandwich. And bring one for yourself too. Yeah. I'm kidding. Scottish people are incredibly generous. They are. I mean, just ask the English. We gave them our whole fucking country. So married, the missus and I, we have a couple of kids, and the crappy thing about kids now is like I'm really worried about paying for college. I mean, it's just so expensive, and the costs have risen so much faster than the rate of inflation. It's like if expenses were the Olympics, college costs would be like world record sprinter. Inflation rate would be like an okay speed walker. And your income would be some fat guy stuck in the gate trying to get into the stadium, So why is college so expensive? Well, I have a theory. College is so expensive because fuck you. Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you and your dream of owning your home outright, enjoying your retirement, and sending your kids to college. Yeah, you get one. That's what you get. Personally, I'm leaning towards enjoying my retirement. And I'm not going to tell my kids they can't go to college, but that doesn't mean I can't steer them away from it, I might get asked, Daddy, why do they call it a bachelor's degree? Well, son, no woman will ever want to marry you if you get one of those. And you'll probably die alone. Yeah. I don't have to worry about that for a year or two. My kids are younger. Although the other day, my younger kid said something that really blew my mind. We were at the breakfast table. He's 6 years old. He's 6 years old, and this is what he says. Daddy, if we didn't have any seconds, then there wouldn't be any centuries. And if there weren't any centuries, then there wouldn't be any time. So if there wasn't any time, and I said, hello, Daddy, I would always be saying hello, Daddy. Whoa. He's either going to be the next Einstein or the next member of Cheech and Chong. Yeah. I just hope he chooses, makes the right choice, because there's no money in science, so that's... My kids are American. I mean, that's just weird. It's just weird to me, and it's also kind of sad because there's so much I experienced growing up in Scotland that they're just never going to know, like 52 weeks of rain per year, a national inferiority complex with a dominant southern neighbour. And I think what makes me saddest of all, that they're never going to know about hate-filled soccer chants. You know, and although that last one, I've done something about that, actually, because I don't think any child anywhere should grow up without knowing how much Scottish football fans absolutely, totally despise one another. So I've actually written a poem, which I'd like to read to you now. Wrote this for my children, for posterity. Just get it here. It's called Memories of Dear Old Scotland. Sheep-shagging bastards, you're only sheep-shagging bastards. I should point out the word bastards is important here because this is Scotland, so being called a sheep-shagger isn't necessarily an insult in itself. You know, you don't want to get confused with it. It could be sheep-shagging heroes or sheep-shagging role models. So yeah, bastards definitely need it for the poem to work. What's it like to follow shite? My old man said to be a Celtic fan. I said, fuck off, father, you're a wank. Derek Johnson, Derek Johnson, Derek Johnson's wife's a whore. Frank McGarvey, Frank McGarvey, Frank McGarvey's wife's a whore. Interesting bit of trivia, actually. Many Scottish footballers do marry prostitutes. It's not uncommon. It's not uncommon, so. You're a bastard, you're a bastard, you're a bastard, referee. You're gonna get your fucking heads kicked in. For your next vacation, choose Scotland. I'm Patrick O'Sullivan. Good night.
Good job. Keep it going for Patrick. Funny man. That curtains. There we go.